What's up, YouTube? It's your barber girl T Fire the barber, and welcome back to another fade on the Faded Room. So today I'm just going to take a little bit of time to say thank you to all the people that commented, subscribe, and keep asking questions. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys. So now we're going to get into a drop fade for this client right here. So let's get right into it. First, we're going to go in with our liners and create our first guideline. For this cut, we're going to start our guideline where the vertical bar ends, and we're just going to make our way around the back of the head and make sure these 2 points meet and they're nice, neat, and even. And we're going to just do that first guideline all the way around the head. And that's how we're going to go ahead and set in the first guideline. Alright, and here you have it, where our first guideline is pretty much completed, and now we're going to go in with a number 5 and bring his hair down to that level. Actually, it's a 5.5 because we have the lever all the way fully open, so it's pretty much a 5.5, and we're just going to bring his hair down to that level because that's the level he prefers. We're going to go back in, going with a number 2 and create our next guideline. This is a number 2 all the way closed, and we're just debulking here. We're creating a guideline plus also debulking, taking our hair, our guidelines as far as we're going to go at the top, because we're going at the angle where it's not digging into the hair or angling into the hair. We could do a number 2 even though the top is a number 5. And that's going to be the highest point that we go on top all the way up, and that is why we're using a number 2. Eventually we're going to go with clipper over comb and blend that whole area out, but that's later on into the video. So this part just going to speed up, and you're going to see that we're going at an angle, and as you can see, we're not really digging into the hair at this point. We're just going straight up and blending that area, and that little area that's left, that's where we're going to go with the comb, with the clipper over comb. But here we're going to go into with the number 1 guard all the way open and create our next guideline. We're going halfway into that guideline that we had created with the number 2 because we're pretty much blending from a 0 all the way up to a number 2, so we don't really need that much space. So here we are, we're creating this guideline here. We're going to pretty much create this guideline all the way around the head to the next side. I leave, like I told you guys, I leave this extra clip in here just to let you guys know, like, it takes a little while for you to put in your guidelines. Sometimes it doesn't happen just right away, especially with a client that has probably like a thicker grain of hair. Even though his hair is straight, he has very thick grain. So I just take my time and keep going over to get the hair to a number 1 as low as we possibly can here, as you can see, and we're going to go back out in and blend out that line here. But we're just going to keep going around the head, trying not to dig too much into the top of the head and the first guideline that we already created with the number 2, but also making sure there's a visible guideline with this number 1 guard that we have on right now. I want to give a quick shout out to Mike Castillo, one of my subscribers, or the Faded Room subscribers. Just want to shout you out for suggesting or requesting this straight hair video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the comment. And again, shout out to you for requesting this video. So let's get back into it. We're pretty much, like I said, going around the head and creating a guideline with a number 2. Now we're going to go back in with clipper, no guards, all the way open. And this might seem a little confusing to you guys because we already went in with the number 1 and created this guideline, but this is the way I do it, just so I know I keep track of where I'm at, and also that I'm blending the hair and making sure I'm keeping the shape. I've tried other steps, and the other steps pretty much I don't keep the shape, and it would like encroach on the other guidelines that I've created. So for now, this is how I actually blend this here, and I go in, and at the end it still gives you the same result, but this is a step that works for me. So like I said, we're going to go all the way around the head, create that guideline. As you can see, we have that guideline at the bottom that's going to be blended out when we go back in with the no guard clipper all the way open, halfway open, and blend out that line. And as you can see, that's pretty much what's going to happen right here. we're going with the clipper all the way halfway open, and we're just tapping in and blending out that line right there. Even though it looks like I'm going pretty high, I'm not touching the rest of the head. I'm just trying to knock out that guide that we had created there. Using the corners of your blade just to get those little extra hairs that are stubborn sometimes, and really honestly, as you guys know, don't like to come out sometimes. So you got to work your angles. So here, as you guys can see, we're pretty much blending out that area, taking our time, flicking out, and just blending that line that we had created with our no guard all the way open with our clipper. And this step, just trust the process, and at the end you're gonna see how this part of the blend comes into play and how it looks at the end of this haircut. So just a quick thinking point for you guys: when you're moving, just move with intent. Don't just move just to move. Do things that have intention behind them, and things that'll eventually build up and build to something over a period of time. Don't just, there's a lot of people that just move and don't really move with intent. So I hope you guys are moving with intent and just working towards whatever it is that you guys are trying to work towards. And we're just gonna get back into this cut. So here, as you guys can see, that line is pretty much blended all the way out so far. We're just gonna go switch our lever up and down, knocking out those little stubborn areas and making sure this area is really blended really nice, because it's gonna play a big part later on in this cut. Now we're gonna move to the 1.5, since it was a number 2 at the top. We're pretty much just try to blend out that dark area, that area that you could tell just have a whole lot of bulk right now. We're just trying to be patient, but also just blend that area and not create another major guideline, since that's a number 2 on top. So we're just try to be as detailed as we can in this area right here and be creative and just blend this area out. Sorry for the angle, you guys. In a minute it'll turn back and we're gonna have a full angle of this head, and here we go. So like I said, we're just trying to blend this area out. And as you can see, the darkness is fading a little bit, but it's not all the way there. And we're going to be moving between our 1.5 guard and our number 1 guard. And here we go. Here's our number 1 guard. And just to blend that area out, I usually pull the skin sometimes just to get a little bit more access to the area that I'm trying to blend out, because sometimes the area is a little tight. And we're just trying to knock out this area without creating another guideline or taking up the hair a little bit too higher or anything like that, because we're going for a specific look and the way that this hair is just gonna like drop and keep the shape. So we're just trying to blend out this area, and we're gonna keep working at it, and eventually it's going to be blended out. As you can see, the camera angle and the camera changed, you guys. I'm so sorry, my battery died, so I had to switch to my phone, but we're still gonna get it, and we're still gonna keep chipping away at this area to blend it out. And as you guys can see, that dark mark is getting blended out pretty nicely so far, but we're still able to keep that dark look at the top. So we're blending out and making sure we're keeping our shape and keeping that dark look at the top. And here we are on the other side of this fade, and we're just gonna keep knocking out this hair, you guys. Just keep at it. I don't have a lot of straight hair clients, so it's not a lot that it's not a lot of times that I do straight hair, but like I said, somebody had requested it, so I was glad that I have someone that comes in and I'm able to do a straight hair for you guys to see. It's a little different from the usual coarse hair that I'm used to, or that we're all used to, but also, if you're a barber, you could blend. If you're a barber, you should be able to blend. And here we are, just using our little corners, making sure we're doing detail work and blending this area out. As you guys can see, it's blending pretty good, but there's still some work that needs to be done. So we're just going to keep going back in with our number 1. We're going to be switching between our levers, a little bit open and a little bit closed, and making sure we're just using our corners too and keeping that shape of the head that we created, that shape and that angle. Here we're gonna go with the half guard, since we already went in with the number 1, and we're pretty much trying to do the same thing here, you guys. Just blend out that bottom line that's still visible there. You can see a visible line at the bottom, and we're just trying to blend that area out. As you guys can see, we're doing small movements up just so we can blend this area out. Using our corners when our corners need to be used, and just so we could blend this area out. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but that's an OG barber in the back there. Some of you guys might know, some of you guys might not know, but that's DC the barber. And I'm calling the big dude in the industry, man. But yeah, back to this cut. A big dude and a cool dude at the same time. he get his stuff done, and it's really nice to work around someone like that. But here we are, back into this cut. We are blending this area out, and this fade is coming together really nicely. And now we're gonna go back in, clipper, no guard, all the way open, and we're gonna be switching between our levers all the way open and closed, just to knock out any other area that needs to be blended. As you guys could know, when you turn the hair at certain angles, certain area look darker than others. So we just gotta make sure we're looking at the hair from all different angles and making sure we're not leaving any dark marks or anything like that. And that's where straight hair is a little bit more tricky, because you got to look at the hair at a lot of different angles. And here we are, like I had said earlier, you guys, we're going back in with our clipper over comb and blending out that number 2, between that number 2 and that number 1.5 guard. We're just taking our time, going in, put the comb in, making sure we're not taking a whole lot of hair off here, you guys. We're just taking off the extra hair that are hanging out, and just to give this haircut the shape that it needs to be and the shape that he wants it to be. I'm just taking off those extra hairs there. You guys can see we're bringing out the comb at an angle. We're not going straight up, we're kind of pulling towards us in a little bit. And here we are, we're going back. This is a number 2 guard, you guys, and we're pretty much just blending out. I feel like this time right now is about creativity and working your blades, knowing your tools, and knowing what area of the head these tools apply to, and going back in and just blending out what you see. Like I said, not every fade is perfect, and also you want to keep yourself fresh. You want to keep yourself entertained. Haircut after haircut could be a little bit repetitive, but just keep yourself a little bit entertained and be creative throughout your cut. Use all your guards, learn all your guards up and down, whatever it is, for you to blend out that area. Now, since our hairlines are already prepared, I didn't show you guys how to prepare the hairline, but as we know, you go in with a hot towel and prepare that hairline just so you can get the sharpest hairline possible. Hair, you guys, he has a very straight head, so the front of his head, the hair in the front of his head sticks out, straight out. So we got to go in and try to create a guideline. Even though he doesn't have the darkest hairline, you got to use your imagination and keep the hairline as straight as possible. And as you guys can see so far, we got his hairline looking pretty straight, nice, neat, even though his hair is straight at the front. Just go in and be creative and do your thing, and give the client what they're asked for. And as you guys can see, this blend is pretty good at certain angles. Like I said, you're going to see dark marks, but as you turn the hair and as you look at the hair at different angles, you can tell it's blended. So this is the end result of the cut, you guys, of this fade. I hope you guys like this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You can leave questions, comments, anything in the comment section below. Any hair texture or service that you guys would like to see, you could suggest them at the bottom. Again, this is your barber girl, T Fire the Barber. I know y'all like that Laker jersey, AA, but